Today, we will visit a remote but royal place, Stonegate Manor, a vast, imposing, somewhat gloomy mansion surrounded by ancient trees, a place of old money, older secrets, and a guest list as long as its shadowed corridors. Tonight, a priceless gem would vanish, and the truth would be buried deeper than the family vault. Inside the opulent grand ballroom of Stonegate Manor, a lavish party is in full swing. Mr. Alistair Finch, the owner, a slick, somewhat arrogant man in a tailored suit, is showing off a dazzling necklace to a small crowd, including his elegant wife, Eleanor.
The ballroom, a wider shot. We see more guests. In the foreground, Alistair's stern matriarchal mother, Lady Agnes Finch, observes from a distance with a disapproving look. His meek father, Lord Reginald, sips champagne nearby, looking uncomfortable. Lady Agnes, muttering to Lord Reginald, flashy as ever, he never truly appreciated its significance. Lord Reginald, nervously, now, Agnes, it is a beautiful piece.
In a quieter corner, two boisterous children, 10-year-old Leo and 8-year-old Clara, Alistair and Eleanor's kids, are trying to sneak pastries from a table. The kind-faced maid, Maria, gently intercepts them. Now, little ones, the main course hasn't even been served yet. But Maria, we're starving. And the cake looks so good.
Near the entrance, the family driver, a rugged man named Rex, stands by the coat check, looking bored and checking his watch. A shifty-looking cousin, Cecil, Alistair's relative, is trying to sneak a bottle of expensive wine into his coat pocket. Rex, eyes narrowed, barely moving his lips. Trying to get an early start, Cecil? That bottle belongs to Mr. Finch. Cecil, startled, forcing a nervous smile. Just admiring the label, Rex. Loyal as ever, eh?
The ballroom. Alistair places the necklace back into a velvet display box and hands it to the stern, imposing butler, Bartholomew. Bartholomew, ensure the star is locked securely in the wall safe in my private study. It's late enough for its beauty sleep. Bartholomew, stoic, holding the box carefully. As you wish, sir. A few minutes later, Bartholomew enters the dimly lit private study. He opens a hidden wall panel, revealing a heavy metal safe. Bartholomew, thought bubble. Another night of guarding this monstrous family heirloom. The things I'd do for a paycheck. The study, shortly after, Bartholomew closes the safe, replaces the panel, and smooths down the wallpaper. He turns to leave. Bartholomew, to himself, secure. Nothing stirring but the late night air. Later that night, everyone is asleep. A masked figure, wearing black tactical gear, is rappelling down from the air vent in the study. A thin, laser-like tool is held in their hand, pointed at the safe panel. But nothing stirring is rarely true in Stonegate. While the household dreamed, another player entered the game. The masked figure is now standing in front of the open safe. The velvet box is in his hands. The star of Aldebaran is gone, replaced by a cheap glass imitation. Masked figure, looking down at the imitation. What? Already replaced? A common switch. But only a professional or someone with access would have known the exact replica needed. The heist was a setup, but by whom? Early morning, Alistair Finch stands aghast in his study, staring at the open, empty safe. Eleanor is beside him, covering her mouth in shock. Bartholomew, the butler, stands a respectful distance away, looking mortified. Alistair Finch, it's gone! The star of Aldebaran is gone! Eleanor Finch, oh, Alistair, who would dare? Bartholomew, impossible, sir. I locked it myself.
A sleek vintage car pulls up to Stonegate Manor. Out steps Detective Isabella Izzy Stone, a sharp, no-nonsense woman with a keen gaze, dressed in a stylish but practical trench coat. She carries a small, worn notebook. When high society secrets turned into high-stakes crime, there was only one name to call: Detective Isabella Stone. She arrived with the morning fog, her reputation preceding her.
Detective Stone surveys the study. She immediately notices the subtle damage to the air vent cover and the minuscule scorch mark where the safe panel was drilled/cut. She ignores Alistair, who was loudly complaining to a police officer in the background. Izzy Stone, in her mind, a professional entry through the ventilation, but an amateur attempt at covering the tracks. It doesn't add up. Detective Stone interviews Bartholomew, the butler, in a neutral sitting room. Bartholomew is rigid, standing perfectly straight. Izzy Stone. Bartholomew, you were the last to handle the Star of Aldebaran. Did you notice anything unusual when you secured it? Bartholomew, no, detective. I used the standard known code. The safe was functioning perfectly when I sealed it. Izzy Stone. Slight smirk. The known code? Very interesting. Detective Stone interviews Lady Agnes Finch, Alistair's mother, in the sitting room. Lady Agnes is draped dramatically on a velvet couch, looking deeply unhappy. Lady Agnes. Honestly, detective, my son is a fool. He only cares about the insurance money. This diamond should never have left the bank vault. It's cursed, I tell you. Izzy Stone, taking a note. Did you hear anything last night, Lady Agnes? Lady Agnes. The snoring of my husband, Reginald. It could wake the dead. Detective Stone is interviewing the maid, Maria, in the kitchen. Maria looks anxious, clutching a rolling pin. Detective Stone. Maria, were you in the manor all night? You didn't leave your room after the party? No, detective, except I went down to the laundry room around 2 a.m. I heard a muffled noise, like something scraping outside near the service entrance. Scraping, you say? Detective Stone is now in the enormous garage, talking to Rex, the driver, who is leaning casually against the manor's luxury sedan, looking slightly guarded. Izzy Stone. Rex, your official duty ended at midnight. Where was the company car between midnight and 3 a.m.? Rex, shrugging, avoiding eye contact. Right here, detective. Parked and locked. I was asleep in the staff quarters. Izzy Stone, pointing to a faint muddy streak on the sedan's fender. Pity, because Maria heard a noise near the service entrance, and this fender looks like it just scraped past a wet, muddy hedge outside the grounds. A frantic close-up shot of Rex's face. He looks caught, sweat beading on his forehead. I was driving, detective. Mr. Finch, Alistair, woke me up at 1:30 a.m., said he needed to deliver urgent, confidential documents downtown. He drove. I was just along for the ride. Detective Stone is back in the study, confronting Alistair and Eleanor. Alistair is now visibly agitated. Mr. Finch, Rex confirms the car was out between 1:30 and 3 a.m. Why did you risk an insurance claim by leaving the manor when the gem was supposedly locked up? Alistair Finch. Nonsense. I was asleep. Rex is mistaken, or perhaps covering for his own little outing. Izzy is examining the children's toy chest in Leo and Clara's bedroom. She pulls out a small metallic object from under a pile of building blocks. Alistair lied. He was in the car. But who was the masked figure who climbed through the vent? Izzy Stone. A keycard for the city's private airport hangars. What would the Finch children be doing with this? Close up on the maid, Maria, who is scrubbing furiously at a spill in the hall, looking over her shoulder nervously. Izzy Stone, off-panel voice. Maria, the keycard. Did you recognize it? Maria, wiping her brow. It looks like the one Mr. Finch uses for his private jet hangar. He flies his cousin Cecil back and forth sometimes. Izzy confronts Cecil, the shifty cousin who was hastily packing a suitcase in a guest room. Cecil, a hangar keycard was found. Did you receive a visit last night from a masked associate who came through the air vents? Cecil flinching violently. I saw nothing. I was asleep. And I never fly with Alistair. Izzy pulls out a roll of heavy-duty black duct tape from Cecil's suitcase. It matches the residue found on the air vent cover. This tape was used to secure the air vents, Cecil. We know you were involved in the entry. Who was the intended target, and what did you expect to steal? Cecil sighing in defeat. I was hired by an anonymous contact to steal the star, but it was gone, replaced by glass. Izzy now stands before Lady Agnes, the mother, and Lord Reginald, the father. Lord Reginald looks terrified. Lady Agnes, you mentioned your son only cared about the insurance. Did you have any insight into his financial situation? Lady Agnes looks at her husband feebly. We've known for months. Stonegate is leveraged to the hilt. Alistair is drowning in debt. The diamond was his last asset. Izzy is back in the study. She picks up the fake glass imitation diamond. She holds it to the light and it sparkles cheaply. The masked thief, Cecil, was hired to steal the diamond, but found a fake. This means the real theft and the switch happened before Cecil arrived. Izzy looks closely at the velvet display box that Bartholomew used. She pulls a tiny, almost invisible thread from the velvet lining. Bartholomew, the box you carried the diamond in, did you ever see Alistair handle it before the party? Yes, Detective. He spent an hour in his study yesterday morning polishing the presentation box. Close up on Izzy's face as she stares at the tiny thread. It's a gold filament, expensive and unique. This isn't velvet thread. This is gold fiber, used in high-end costume tailoring, specifically the lining of a tailor-made suit. Izzy stands in the hall holding the tiny gold thread in the insurance policy claim form. Alistair descends the grand staircase, looking confident. Mr. Finch, I think I know why you took the car out at 1:30 a.m. I'm sure you do, Detective, to get away from this mess. Close up on Alistair's tailored suit. Izzy points to a small, nearly invisible snag in the inner pocket lining of his jacket. You drove out to the private airfield not to deliver documents, but to deposit the real star of Aldebaran. You switched it for the fake before the party, while you were polishing the box. On one side, Alistair's confident facade crumbles. On the other, the gold thread Izzy holds perfectly fits the snag in his pocket lining. The gold thread from your suit's unique lining was snagged and left on the old velvet box. You handled the diamond, performed the switch, and then hired Cecil as a professional, disposable fall guy to make it look like an outside, botched robbery, guaranteeing your massive insurance payout. You are the thief, Mr. Finch. Alistair is being led away by police. He manages a defiant, sneering smile toward the camera. Eleanor, his wife, looks on with a look of cold, calculating disdain, not surprise. Alistair, voice bubble, triumphant even in defeat. Worth every penny. Enjoy the press, Detective. The narration. The star of Aldebaran was safe, awaiting an insurance claim that would never be paid. In the end, the only thing richer than the diamond was Alistair Finch's desperation. Case closed.